This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Squarespace.
Coming up on Destructoid, Xenomorphs, Martians, and Catwomen oh my. And hey, it's the PlayStation Dolce Vita. All this and more coming up on Destructoid. Hey!
Welcome to Destructoid. I'm Tara Long.
And I'm Max Scoville.
Happy
Tara,
Wednesday.
my dear, how was your weekend?
It was terrific. I went to a concert on Sunday and Dave Chappelle showed up.
What concert was it?
Mobb Deep. Actually, although I did not see Dave Chappelle himself, they just told me like, oh, Dave Chappelle's in the house. They could have just said that.
Yeah.
They might have been lying. I have no idea. What'd you get up to?
I sat on my couch and watched movies, mostly.
That's what I do every weeknight.
Okay, well, get to the news, Max, you silly idiot. Last week we mentioned that Destructoid editors Nick Chester and Jim Sterling had received burnt doll heads in the mail. This was either the work of some twisted individual or a PR stunt to tease some news of Aliens Colonial Marines for E3. Since then, Jim has received a print of the USS Sulaco, the spaceship from Aliens, and Nick received this totally kick-ass Nerf M40 pulse rifle, standard weaponry of the Colonial Marines. On top of this trailer got released today, which shows us basically nothing of the game, but it does confirm that the game is going to be coming out in spring 2012. Now, it sounds like the game is going to follow a group of Colonial Marines as they investigate the aftermath of Aliens, specifically the disappearance of Colonel Hicks and the blowing up of the colony on LV-426, but I'm really curious to see how the story plays out. I might step on some toes saying this, but Alien 3 totally sucked ass, and I was kind of hoping for a really kick-ass sequel from James Cameron, the way it was set up, but the plot of the game is going to fit in between the storylines of the three main films, sort of like Shadows of the Empire did with Empire and Jedi, but with aliens. So, also, like, Sega, why don't I get Nerf guns? Like, what's up with that, huh?
We don't get sent anything, actually. It's all like Nick and Hamza who get the good stuff.
And they always complain about it.
Huh?
We did get Steel Battalion, which is cool.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But from PR companies,
I mean, new
why
stuff.
you no send us cool things, you know?
Where's my burned doll heads?
Yeah, why don't you send us
You
Nerf
stalkers
guns?
need to step it up. Okay, news. So some of the big controversy this weekend in gaming was the removal of a bunch of emulators from the Android market. First, it was Zod TTD, the guy who made a PlayStation emulator for Android devices that got taken down by Google from the Android market this weekend with no warning whatsoever, right before they terminated his account. Same thing happened to Yang Zhang a few days later. He had several emulators available on the market as well, and all of them got taken down. There are still a few other available, but I don't expect them to remain much longer. Some people are speculating that this is in response to the recent launch of the Xperia Play, which, if you recall my appearance on App Judgment a couple months ago, we talked about the Xperia Play, and I said before it even launched that people were just going to use it as a glorified emulation device, and look what happened! That's a Tara Long prediction.
Well,
right
looks
there.
like there's a new sheriff in town that's cleaning up the Wild West that is the
right.
Android market.
I feel bad for anybody who bought an Xperia Play, like hoping to be able to use one of those, because now they're just stuck with like $5 and $10 PS1 titles. Sorry, guys.
Crash Bandicoot.
I don't even know what to say to that. Okay, another mobile news. You remember how the Nintendo 3DS was totally awesome and completely revolutionary for its time? Well, guess what? Glasses-free 3D is coming to mobile phones. Starting this summer, Sprint's got the exclusive on the new HTC Evo 3D, which has a 4.3-inch QHD display that allows you to experience all the splendor and glory of 3D without the glasses. We don't know a whole lot about the games that they're going to be offering for it just yet, but we do know that the demo version of Ultimate Spider-Man Total Mayhem 3D will come preloaded on the phone. Thank God! I've been trying to get my hands on that title for so long. You know how hard it is to get a demo version of that game?
I will not buy a phone these days unless it comes with Spider-Man on it.
I know! That was a joke. Nobody cares about the game. Gameloft has also revealed that they're going to be working on a couple of titles for the phone as well in preparation for the launch, including Assassin's Creed Altair's Chronicles and GT Racing Motor Academy. So this is pretty interesting, you know? This is also something that I expect to happen.
Tara, I wasn't done talking about aliens.
Okay, well, finish
Shut up about your androids and your assassins things. All right, I'd like to mention that I did a totally kick-ass preview yesterday of the first look of the upcoming War of the Worlds game that's being done by the guys over at Other Ocean. The game, like, it wasn't a blip on anyone's radar until yesterday when I got an email about it, and they said that the game is based on the original book by H.G. Wells, nothing to do with the friggin' Tom Cruise movie. But it's going to be an homage to the old rotoscoped evasion-based side-scrollers like Out of This World and Flashback, except with modern graphics. So seeing that, it kind of caught my attention. Unfortunately, all we can show you right now is the concept art, but I can tell you that this game looks really fucking sweet. I got to go over and play like a really early build of it. And it's a strictly 2D side-scroller, but there's like a ton of stuff going on in the background and foreground. And you play as a guy who's making his way through the Martian invasion of London, and you've got to avoid getting zapped by alien death rays and solve puzzles and stuff. It's very much a game where you're going to have to use your head and figure out how to get past enemies without the use of a gun or like karate or something. So think of like Abe's Odyssey or Limbo. It's going to be available on PSN and XBLA sometime later this year, and there should be more about it at E3. But in the meantime, you can go over and check out my preview on Destructoid.com.
Exclusive, eh?
Seriously.
Destructoid's hitting the big time.
Yeah, right? It's an exclusive.
It is.
With me.
Let's take a second to thank our sponsor. Squarespace is the fastest and easiest way to create a high-quality blog, portfolio, or any kind of website you like. If you have questions or need any help whatsoever, Squarespace provides every member with amazing support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Start your website or blog by choosing from over 60 professionally designed templates, customize them, and then upload content from your computer, iPhone, or iPad. Squarespace's mobile apps also allow you to easily add entries and manage comments from anywhere. Many of the internet's highest traffic web pages are powered by Squarespace, not to mention many of the personal pages of Revision 3 hosts and personalities, including the one and only Max Scoville. Check out squarespace.com/Destructoid to get a 2-week free trial and learn more. And where can they find your website, sir?
It's maxscoville.squarespace.com.
How original.
Still under construction.
News.
Okay.
Shall we get back to it?
So one of the big things I'm looking forward to at E3 is Sony's new handheld, previously known as the NGP. And it looks like the official title is going to be the PS Vita.
Now, is that Vita or Vita?
I think it's Vita.
Vitamin water.
I think it's Vita, like Velveeta or Evita Perón.
Okay.
There have been some rumors floating around and some leaked photos that suggest that this is the name, but it's pretty much corroborated by Sony's own materials. Destructoid reader Pedro came up with a few mentions of the PS Vita buried within Sony's official E3 website. So, congrats, Sony. You've given your new handheld a name that makes me embarrassed to say that I want one. Like, I wanted to buy an NGP. I am less excited about the Vita. Do you know why? Because the Vita sounds like fucking birth control. It sounds like a musical. It does not sound like a fun handheld game to play.
It sounds like a water that's been infused with extra electrolytes.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's Italian for life, and with all due respect to Italians, what the fuck does that have to do with video games? Like, aside from, Mario being Italian and extra lives and stuff.
Maybe they want you to carry it around with you in your everyday life.
Yeah, maybe they're telling us to get a life. I don't know. But it's also the Greek word for beta, for 2, the second letter of the alphabet can be pronounced Vita. So it's like a PSP2. I get that it's got dual meanings, and I know that a lot of guys sat around in a fucking conference room and were like, oh, what are we gonna call this crazy new thing? Like, how are we gonna sell it? And it works on so many levels that it's just so sterile and fucking androgynous. It's the name for an oxygen bar, not a video game system. So, like, I still want to play this game, and if you guys, like, get mad at me for saying that I'm not pumped about it, it's not true. I'm just fucking mad about the name. Like, you could call it, like, any number of other things besides the PlayStation Vita. Whatever happened to, like, the Atari, like, Lynx, the Sega Nomad, like...
Nintendo Revolution?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Oh my god, it sounds so stupid.
Maybe they'll have a product placement deal with 50 cents.
I want to get a fucking PlayStation Hella Narkill. How about that? That's a handheld I'd buy.
That I would purchase.
I want it in neon green and orange tiger stripes. That's what I want it to look like.
Well, that's exciting news still, though. And speaking of exciting, I have some news about Batman Arkham City. Also, Destructoid's Valiant editor-in-chief, Nick Chester, met with Dax Jin, the marketing manager for Rocksteady, recently, who revealed that Catwoman will be a playable character in Arkham City.
Wow!
You'll be able to access her character from certain points throughout the city, basically wherever you happen to find any cats. Seriously, there's like a group of stray cats, and then Batman transforms into her, as I understand it. According to Jin, she's only going to be playable in about 10% of the game. And her character will have 3 gadgets at her disposal as opposed to the 12 that Batman has, presumably because her cat suit has no pockets or because she's a woman.
This is going to be awesome, but it's going to be like, she's going to have her whip, she's probably going to have her claws.
She's got claws,
and she's going to have, ISIS, go steal me diamonds. Oh god,
There'll be a lot of this going on.
Like, oh god, she's so sassy.
Are you a fan of Catwoman?
Fuck yeah, I love Catwoman.
I like Catwoman too, but people in the Destructoid comments, they weren't so nice about it. But even if you do hate her, you will be forced to play as her during some points of the game. She also has side quests that are completely optional and usually involve stealing some sort of loot. So her character's strengths are completely different from Batman's and are obviously going to be based on her nimbleness and her stealth, which will allow her to do things
reflexes.
like pickpocket. And Nick said in his preview that there's a portion of the game where she kind of lowers herself from the ceiling with her whip and then chokes a guy out with her thighs.
Yes.
I want to be able to do that. Why can I not do that in real life? Is it the fact that I'm non-fictional? Life is so unfair.
Let us know in the comments. How about that? Why can't Tara break a man's neck with her thighs?
We'll snap your neck after the show.
Well, that's okay.
Check out Podtoid. Check out Podtoid because it came out yesterday. This is the thing I was going to plug before the end of the show because our news is over, sadly. Go to iTunes. You can search Podtoid and the thing. We bullshit for like an hour and a half with Jim Sterling and Jonathan Holmes every week.
I say some terrifically stupid things,
Yeah.
and Tara usually makes fun of me for it. It's very
I
amusing.
say some stupid things of my own.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, that's it. Have a great night, guys.
see you guys on Friday.